Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Corey and Kevin Talk About Nothing. If you're tuning in for the first time,
I'm Corey.
I'm Kevin, and welcome to our podcast talk show.
Welcome. Hello.
Hello. Strap in. This is a movie review podcast. We review usually Hollywood and an indie.
Yes.
You know, big budget, no budget. That's the way we like it. It's yeah.
And it showed to me. I love this new thing that we're doing actually because it shows that a small budget movie can actually hit you just like a Hollywood movie. Don't be wrong, you're not going to big names in there, but I'm telling you. But I'm like really starting to like really enjoy some of this. You know, some of our past films, I really after we podcasted about it, I really thought about, and I'm like, man, I love that. That's pretty sweet. You know, don't be wrong.
It's pretty
There's
amazing.
Some low budgets that are, you know.
I agree. There have been some that were like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna totally hate on you doing what you hype yourself in. I'm not saying that by any means, but at the same time, there's also movies that just aren't as. I mean, you can't compare them to a Hollywood film.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like, more or less what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You can't really do that.
My big thing would be like finished product.
Yeah.
Right. If you have no time, like obviously you have to set timelines to complete the goal, just because like maybe that's what motivates you. But you know, if you got to delay to polish it up or reshoot scenes or work on the audio, then
yes.
Juxtaposition. Oh man, I was trying to Google this word. That's why my eyes were down here. I was trying to Google this word because it was one of my favorite words, and it's funny because we watch a Hollywood big budget or even just a Hollywood budgeted movie versus an indie no budget or an indie low budget. And juxtaposition is like the contrast, like say light and dark, you know, within the same thing. So it's but yeah, anyways. It's one of my favorite words. I was like, what is it? Why am I blanking? I'm just blanking today, so it's probably going to happen 15 more times. But
it's okay.
You know, it actually falls in line with the Hollywood movie that we watched, you know?
That is a true statement.
Wait. Who? I'm Bob Arctor? Oh, crap. What a wild movie. So, yeah, anyways, we watch movies. And we talk about them. We review them a bit. Tell you what we like, what we don't like. We don't hold back. Maybe that's our charm. Maybe that's our charm. Maybe that's what people are like, oh, yeah. These guys tell me the truth about it. So the movies that we watched, A Scanner Darkly, a 2006 film. We went the time machine went backwards. With Keanu Reeves, Robert Downey Jr., Winona Ryder, Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
I mean, there's...
I mean, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. And then...
Yeah, as I say, all right.
And then an indie mockumentary movie called Black Dog. It's a raising awareness movie about raising awareness.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I anyways, well... What do you want to start with on this wonderful?
And so I say, you know, let's continue with this trend here. You know, I let you start with this indie film, and give your persona about the indie film here because I did not watch the other movie yet, and I think that you've already previously watched that one before.
So it's Scanner Darkly. Yes. I'll tell you why we. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yes, so I think I'll let you start out this indie film.
Okay.
Tell us about the this indie film, The Black Dog.
Yeah, can you pull up? Are you able to pull up like the production information there and the director? Like, are you able?
I will do my best for you. Give me 1 second.
No, I'll give you plenty because I'll be able to talk.
Right, cool.
So
you're not bad at that.
Yeah. So it's a 33 minute mockumentary style movie. I actually have no idea if this is based on a real human being or not. which is that's where my only confusion is. It feels like a mockumentary, but it could very well be a documentary. But the reason why I go with the mockumentary is because of there's specific lines of dialogue that I really liked, where the director or the interviewer is asking about the incident and what triggers the mental illness, and the subject is like, well, I thought you wanted to know about me, not just this, not the buzzwords, but I thought you wanted to know about me. And I really kind of like gravitated towards that subject because it's such an interesting thing. You get hooked on buzzwords. You start watching documentaries on specific things, and they kind of like, I don't want to say exploit, but they kind of go in depth of these triggers, and like, are you actually learning about the person or are you learning about the disease? So I really like that this guy didn't even want to tell this story because it wasn't about the story. It wasn't supposed to be about the story. It was supposed to be about him.
Yeah.
The camera work, phenomenal, man. That was
great.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely. Actually, the quality, everything. I got to give full credit.
Audio
that was phenomenal.
This felt like, that's why it's like it could borderline. I don't know this character. I don't know if this is a real person. So you could have sold this as a documentary, and people would probably be like, yeah. There's only like dialogue in there that makes me feel like it's a mockumentary, because it does kind of poke holes at like documentaries that specifically target certain things and kind of abandon the humanity of certain things, or miss the subject matter. Or like, hey, I'm only interviewing you because I know this is going to get massive views, not actually caring about this person. So, I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the subject. I thought he was very quirky, funny, and he was smart. You probably just told me that, so I would smash this whole room up, right? Give you an ending to your film. I'm not going to do that. Like, it's like, I'm thinking now. I'm thinking.
Yeah, there was definitely highlights of the film. You know what I mean? I think that it was I think there was definitely some slow parts to it. You know what I mean? Some parts that I didn't. It took me a minute to understand what he was actually going for. Like that, I think that was part of some of where I came from with that aspect of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just think that it was just, it kind of got slow there. Then all of a sudden, like I'm realizing towards like, I mean, it's a short film, but I'm realizing towards the end of like kind of what really truly what's going on, more or less than like fully from the beginning, kind of going into it knowing what's going on, right? It's like one of those things to me that kind of, it just, you know what I mean? It's not that it's not a terrible thing by any means, but it's also it's just something that, you know what I mean, that's something that I caught. You know what I mean? I wish that I was somehow figured it out first, and maybe that's on me. Maybe that's not. You seem to know, you have a very well grasp of this there, Kevin.
Well, I've watched a lot of documentaries, and I've watched a lot of mockumentaries. Actually, one of my absolute favorite shows of all time is American Graffiti, American Heist or something like that. I'm gonna look this up.
Okay, all right. But while you're looking that up as well, I just wanted to sidetrack real quick. It's by Nicholas Adamson and Craig Hicks, the film that we're watching, Black Dog.
Okay.
And then it says it's the Don't Tell Show. Came up as
Don't Tell Show. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I think that might be like the production of it. So.
Okay. So, hold on. I'm gonna be real quick because it is. I cannot believe I'm blank. I told you I'd blank
today. Yeah, you would absolutely. He did say that before.
American Vandal. Okay. It's on.
Vandal.
Okay.
Yeah,
American Vandal is season 1 is one of. All right. So. The guy, all right, do you remember in the Wolf of Snow Hollow, the guy in the beginning where his girlfriend gets killed?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
so that guy,
okay.
like, this is my first exposure to that actor, and he plays, like, just this dumb kid who has, like, no shame, whatever. Like, he door dashes, and he's eating the food as, like, he's, door dashing, he delivers it. The guy's like, did you eat my fries? And he's just like, yeah. You know, I think he's just like has no motive. He's just like,
wow.
Anyways, it's a mockumentary. That's the only reason why I'm going off on this whole thing, and I'll bring it home. It's a mockumentary, so I do love mockumentaries. Spinal Tap.
Okay.
You ever watch This Is Spinal Tap? It's a mockumentary about an 80s rock band or a 90s rock band. I can't remember right now. It's been a long time, but it's phenomenal. Mockumentaries are awesome, and documentaries are awesome as well. I've seen plenty of those. So the director, the cinematographer of this, did a phenomenal job. I mean, it's all the nails in the head of a documentary, of a mockumentary. So that's why you're exactly right. I could see this. All the overhead shots, all the interesting shots, all the filler shots are literally perfect. It's like a
That's
perfect,
hilarious. That's awesome.
I would put that movie out. It would almost be like the Blair Witch Project. I would put this Black Dog raising awareness movie about raising awareness, which is funny in itself. And I would put that movie out. I would just say nothing about it. Is it true? I don't know. Is it? Is it based on a real person? I don't know. Is it? Blair Witch Project was like touted as, these people were real and this is found footage,
Yeah. 100%.
This would be
scared me.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first time I watched it, so
both of these movies also deal with the woods. I mean, like for 10 minutes they just argue about the intro of the movie and what he has to say. I love it.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's why so it's funny. Like now that you say that,
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back and actually look at it that way while I watch it because I may actually enjoy it more.
Yeah. I think it's not meant to be super serious. It's supposed to kind of poke fun at how documentaries are. I mean, I feel like it has a good message. Although I did see in the comments that it has no message, but I'll take a message. I'll make a message out of nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. I got to. So I totally agree with you. I think that I would actually, now that you say that, I'm actually looking at the movie just in generally different, and I could not agree with you more. I agree with that statement quite a bit, sir. The director and cinematographer could literally do like an episode of Hoarders, or they could do an episode on like A&E, like any like type of documentary or anything like that would be like completely. They're so good at it. I mean, it was awesome. So I really enjoyed it, and I also just really enjoyed like the main subject of being like he knows like you're not just after me to hear my story. You just want to hear the story. You just want to hear the buzzwords, the trigger. So that's why I also love the ending where he winds up wandering too far. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? It just he goes out of reach because we never get to actually hear the Black Dog story. So I love that. The entire
awesome.
time.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Yeah.
See, some of those parts, when I go into it, I'm not expecting some of these things, and this is what happens to me because now I'm regretting some of the things that my heart was saying at first.
No, I mean but those are your opinions. Like if you're not, I mean, like if I mean that's what you're. Everything needs settlement, right? Like you watch a movie and you watch a TV show or something. You got to settle on, everything comes down, and eventually you would have gotten there. Eventually you'd have been like, huh, wait a minute,
Yeah, for sure.
Like tonight, laying in bed, you'd be like, huh. So
wait 1 second here.
Yeah.
So you're right,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying. So now that you put that into my face, though, I do feel differently about some of the parts that I was like kind of complaining. I don't want to say complaining about, but some of the parts that I'm just like I had questions about. I think that's the best word I can say.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Just like, hold on a second here. Not parts, but kind of like the storyline. You know what I mean? Like there's some parts that okay, so I will have to say I'm kind of mad that I did not think about this because at the very beginning, trying to not do huge spoiler alerts, but the very beginning scene where they're already arguing in the interview. This is already happening, right? So it made me think like, oh, this is a fake interview, right? Like this is like a setup interview right away. And it is. I should have like known this. It's
it's like a mockumentary.
What am I doing? So I should have like now saying that is now make me rethink about that part. And I'm saying so like I 100% agree that I should have probably stuck with my gut there and went with that.
I'm saying throw this movie into some awards, man. Go find some festivals that would accept this movie. I bet you this movie would.
You think it would go far?
Dude, the soundtrack, the audio, the cinematography, the shots, the cutting, I
think the video part of it was absolutely phenomenal. There's the quality and everything. I agree with that. Like that's like 100% there. I mean, the acting was
superb. It was phenomenal.
It was really good. Yeah, really good.
That's what I'm saying. Like you could almost pose this as like, is this real? Is this guy real?
Is seriously? Yeah. Well, it could because it's a thing. I mean, he struggled to really fly that kite. I tell you that. I'm just saying, like that kite was not flying very well for him.
That kite was not. He would try as he might. Yeah, that thing was not gonna fly. Yeah,
it was not. Yeah. So,
I don't think I've been very good about. Now that I'm thinking about this, I don't think I've been very good about posting links to the movies that we've watched. So I'm gonna make a note. Probably not. I'm gonna try. And remember to include the link. But the movie is called Black Dog, a raising awareness movie about raising awareness.
Yeah, I guess so. Because literally the description is Black Dog, a raising awareness. Raising awareness. Hold on, let me pull it back up.
Yeah.
A raising awareness of a raising awareness film.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent. Wonderful. I would like to see what else you've done. Yeah. I'd like to see what else you got. So we'll discuss and we'll see what else you got. Yeah. Anything else for that movie?
I don't actually. I do not.
All right.
I think you hit a nail on the head. For now, right? I'm gonna go back and rethink about this movie and rewatch it. I really am. I mean, I didn't see that's the part I didn't hate it. So, but anyways, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm like sitting there watching it. I'm like, I could probably pose this one off. I could probably, dude. All right. So, perfect example. These people, this crew. This director, and I apologize, I'll try to get your names down and all that stuff because I really enjoyed your product. But Documentary Now with Bill Hader and Fred Armisen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
This fits in. Get in there with those guys. You could be popping off some mockumentaries. I can't believe I didn't think about Documentary Now until now. Pitter patter. I mean, come on, man. That's just one of the greatest shows I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
All right, I can go deep into that.
Yeah,
show.
I love that show. That show's amazing. It is amazing how many characters Bill Hader and Fred Armisen can play. Anyways, so yeah, that was Black Dog. I'm not gonna say the full thing again. You've already heard it. I may or may not have a link in the description below.
Yeah, he's going to do his best, and I will do my best to remind him, guys.
And if somebody wants to put a comment with the link, boom, that would just take care of my own job.
That's done and done, skis.
So, all right. Would you like to move on to our next movie?
Yes.
Okay. A Richard Linklater film. I did some research on this film this evening or yesterday evening. Anyways, the movie is called A Scanner Darkly. Now, Jessica, my wife, has a coworker who, like our daughter's, named Clementine, and so her coworker was like, "Oh, I love Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind." Like, obviously, who doesn't love that movie? Anyways, I'll fight him. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a decree. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
They asked her. They asked her if she had seen a Scanner Darkly. She's like, no. She's like, but let me ask my husband. And she's like, hey, Kevin, you ever seen a Scanner Darkly? And I was like, oh yeah, I love this movie. I'm like, nobody ever brings this movie up. You got 10 minutes that I could talk your ear off about a Scanner Darkly because I really like that movie. And I'm like, wow, that's, I remember it. I remember buying it on DVD, watching this movie, and being blown away. And it's a 2006 film, so this film's not new,
not at all.
But it is wonderful. And the thing that I had learned is the publication of this work, the book, which I think is the same name, was written in 1977. And,
really?
And the future, like where it's like, where it's like several years from now, which I think is a genius idea, by the way. If you do several years from now, it's always in the future. You never have a specific date, so it's it's literally perfect. Anyway, so in the 1977 book, 1994 is actually the future. That they're talking about with this Scanner Darkly stuff, like what's happening with the drug addictions and how we're losing the war on drugs. And it's crazy interesting to still be in this era of drug overdoses and cities being ravaged by overdoses. And it's still applicable. It's applicable in 2022. It's applicable when it came out in 2006. And it was applicable in 1977 when they were writing the future of 1994. Now, the writer of the movie was actually also on a lot of drugs, which sparked his paranoia, sparked the actual kind of events of this movie. So some of it is like almost autobiographical is what they were saying. It's just kind of funny.
Holy, wow, that's crazy.
It was on like mescaline, LSD, like all this stuff. And I'm like, my God. He wrote 12 novels. No, it's even more than that, I think. I'm going to be honest. I think it was like 24 novels in 10 years. Like, what? So, yeah, all performance-enhancing drugs, apparently. To crank out content. Huh. That is not a promotion. That is do not do that.
Yes, not.
Your work is not going to get accepted. I can guarantee it. Anyways. So yeah, Philip K. Dick, I think, is what his the writer, Philip K. Dick.
Okay.
A Scanner Darkly. So I love this movie, and when rewatching this movie, I'm like, this is why I love this movie. Since I've seen it already, what were your thoughts?
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm just gonna be honest with you. I loved it, but so I really, there were certain parts of it that I like really I liked. And one thing I loved about this movie, I'm just gonna be. They went from beginning to end without actually like extending a lot of parts, right? So I didn't have a lot of meat in all these potatoes. You know what I mean? I got a lot of, you know what I mean? I got a lot of. Actually, I'm sorry. I shouldn't get a lot of potatoes. I got a lot of meat, but like the perfect amount of meat, and then there's a little bit of potatoes, right? I'm just saying. I'm just trying to put that into perspective there.
Oh it's layered very well. Yeah.
Very well, man. And I think that even the way that like, all right. So I mean, okay. First off, the way it's shot, I don't know. What do you call this? Like, what do you call this way that it's shot and drawn? Like, do you have any idea?
It's interesting. It's shot digitally, so it is like, filmed.
Yeah.
And then it is then gone over with like an animation called rotoscoping and interpolation. So they're basically carving them out and messing with the backgrounds, carving out. So they're like animating it and then cutting them out so that you can have like the more trippy, like the couch that seems like it's almost like moving, as the scenes moving. Like it was, from what they were saying, it was done in a way that it felt like the viewer was intoxicated and unsettled, because a lot of that stuff is dude, the bugs.
Oh my gosh, you
I
yeah,
know,
that's
I'm
creepy,
like
dude.
sitting there,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
are there bugs on me?
Yeah.
Man?
Yeah, they did very well with that. That's my whole thing. So I
Yeah.
think like the way they shot it was actually, at first I questioned it. All right, I looked up a preview for it. And
Yeah,
I'm
like how are you gonna watch a whole movie like that, right?
yeah, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? But now, what you start learning and finding out during the movie, that, you know, there's like a drug that's related that's doing this whole thing, because this whole, you know, drug on wars thing. You know, I mean, it's this whole thing. But you know, and I think I really like the fact of like how they dove into this one cop and they kind of like built him into this entire situation, and then kind of, you know, sorry, dude.
Yeah, I watched this movie obviously a while ago, and the ending shocked me because I'm like, why did I not really remember this ending? I'm like, my God, I'm gonna spoil it. It's a 2006 film. Just,
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Watch it by now.
Spoiler.
Well, I guess if you're just hearing about it now, why would I spoil it? So, anyways, maybe I won't fully spoil it, but what was revealed at the end, I totally forgot about, and I'm like, how heartbreaking! Like,
yeah,
all to get your leg up, you know, like that's not their choice. It wasn't their choice. It was never their choice, and that was
ever.
That was, I was just like, man, and then. You know, with the pharmaceutical companies and what prescriptions and all that stuff. I mean, like I said, it's still very relatable now as it was when this was being conceived, when this was being filmed, and when this is, you know. I just think it's like a cautionary tale that, you know, we can watch this and still say like, oh man, we're like in the middle of this. And one of the final pieces of dialogue where they're at the diner and he's like, I'm worried that in the history books this is going to be a footnote and there's not going to be a list of names that of people claimed by this. And that is sad, right? There is this terrible epidemic, this terrible thing that happens, that's ravaging towns and cities and all that stuff, and those names will be forgotten because it's not looked at as different. It's looked at differently than, you know, treating it as a disease or treating it as something else, you know. So I really thought it's such a relatable movie that I'm not going to ruin it, because I would love for you, if you have not watched The Scanner Darkly, go watch it, you know. And I really love the at the end when they're talking about like, this is for the movie, this is for, you know, all these people, because hey, now at least their names get put here in the history books, you know. At least they're going to be remembered here. And, you know, anybody can look in their lives and probably know somebody close to them that was claimed by some freaking garbage, you know. So it's like, maybe, you know, you watch do you see the Rotten Tomatoes on this?
Yeah, it wasn't very high.
Yeah, and it's like, maybe people need to go rewatch this movie then.
Yeah, it's like, give it another shot. Like
yeah.
I'm kind of blown away by this.
So there is like an overall dark and drama-esque part to this movie, but there is also a lot of comedy to this movie. I was just saying, as we're watching this movie, I want a sitcom of Robert Downey Jr., Woody Harrelson, and Keanu Reeves. Because they are
seriously
three of the funniest people in a room together that are all paranoid. When somebody brings something up, they immediately dive into it. They're like, what happened to the missing 8 gears? You know, like, where they're like, it's an 18-speed bike. I only count 9 gears, so what happened?
Yes, where are the other ones? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Robert Downey Jr., when they went to go put it back together, they didn't do it, so they're going to charge me for it.
They're
right?
going to charge me. I know what's going to happen.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen. Yeah. So it was pretty...
I love it. It's so funny of like how deep they're all in sync of this paranoia of like everything's out to get them. When they come home, because obviously the... I can't remember their names. Anyways... Robert Downey Jr.'s character, when he's like, left the door unlocked with a note that said, come on in, the door's unlocked. And they find the joint that's still like warm, and they're like putting all these things together of, how the FBI or whoever is like targeted. They're on their way here now, and then Winona Ryder's character comes out and is like, "Hey guys, what's going on? You said to come on in, It's like, well, that's cautionary tale. Stay off that stuff. Makes you paranoid.
As shit.
They're in the car and that thing rattled loose. When Woody Harrelson's character goes, we should have drove to San Francisco because we'd been going this way and the screw would have gone, It's like, no, we'd have to go on the other side of the equator to do that. They have like this. Oh. They're smart people. That's the funny part is they're like really smart, but they're so out of their mind all the time that they're just wasted on stupid shit. I'm sorry if I stole whatever time.
No, it's okay.
What else? What else you got? What else you got about this movie?
No, I mean, I don't. I really, to be 100%, I really just enjoyed the movie top to bottom. I think that I really enjoyed just like you said, the Woody Harrelson and that whole like dynamic. Even Winona Ryder, I think she.
Oh yeah, she knocked it out of the park too. Yeah.
I think she did very well. And the nice part is about her too is you guys are watching the Stranger Things, right?
Right.
So like seeing her, I was like, yeah, like let's go. You know what I mean? I am very excited for this now. Like when I looked at the cast list before I actually watched it, I was very excited.
Oh, it's a knockout cast.
It is. It's a huge. Yeah. I mean, it really. You brought it up when we were talking on Friday, and I'm like, wait a minute here. Let me look into this. I
got so excited when Jessica was like, "Have you ever heard of a Scanner Darkly?" I'm like, whoa, drop everything. First off, Why are you asking us about Scanner Darkly? Because I'm pumped. Nobody ever talks about it, so I'm pretty pumped that you were.
I'll definitely
let's just watch it.
Yeah, so pretty much what I'm saying is I'm going to recommend it to other people.
Yeah.
Sean, if you listen to this, watch it.
Yeah, watch this one. Watch this movie. The rotoscoping and interpolation. Richard Linklater, that he's a director that just seems to always push the boundaries. I really just love the way this movie was done because like what other movies like this? Yeah, when they turn into bugs, I thought about it. When Keanu Reeves characters talk or just hanging out and they turn into bugs, and Robert Downey Jr.'s characters are like, as the bug. I'm laughing so hard, but then I'm like, how frightening to be like you're sane, you're conscious, and what you're seeing is messed up. It's not real, but your brain is perceiving it's real. Like you're actively seeing the degradation of your brain, and I think that's just one of the scariest things in the world.
Absolutely, 100%. Like, remember when he was looking at that girl?
Oh yeah, and it's just
over and over and over again. You're like, what is happening?
Yeah, what is happening?
I'm telling you, that's what I loved about it. And imagine that suit too, dude. That suit would be crazy.
Oh, I know. That suit was sweet, right?
That suit was sweet. That suit was pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
so that's
scanner suit.
There's a lot of sweet stuff to this thing. You know what I mean? It really was a lot of sweet things. And that's why I think I really enjoyed it. I mean, so this was, I know it's a shorter film. It's like an hour and 40 minutes or something. Hour and 38 or something. Yeah. So, but I was like an hour and 20 minutes into it. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I only have literally 12 minutes left of this movie before the credits start showing. Like, this is insane. Like, this is I was not expecting this yet,
Yeah.
Now the ending of it, the one thing I think they did very well at the ending, once again, it's one of those open endings, I think. You know what I mean? There's not like a lot of resolution towards it, like with the very end thing that happens.
Right. You just gotta hope for Thanksgiving, right?
Exactly. Thanksgiving, man. I gotta wait for it. But so with that being said, I loved everything else leading up to that point. I can't help it, man. I'm not I don't love open-ending movies. Like, I can't, love the ending of it. I kind of, want to see a little bit. You know what I mean? Every movie's open-ending. But, that one thing that sparks in his brain, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, you're wondering if the charred brain cells spark.
That's what I want to know. I don't give a shit about what happens to necessarily this person.
Funny. You're so funny.
But I can't help it, dude.
Hey, no, that is the point of an open interpretation. What do you want out of it? Do you think
I know what I want out of it, and he better.
So you want
That's
those
what I better.
burnt out sparks that spark. His brain starts functioning. He comes back, hands that flower over, and they get to bust it. But it's. You ever watch The Wrestler?
Yeah.
With Mickey Rourke?
Oh yeah.
At the end, he jumps off the ropes, and it cuts to black. Does he die or does he not? I like open endings. I think they're kind of fun. How about Inception? He spins the top, but it doesn't stop spinning.
See, don't get me wrong. I enjoy these movies. I'm not saying
they're
that.
thinkers. You're probably like, why is it occupying space in my brain? Why do I have to think?
No.
There's like
See,
smoke coming out of your ears.
Yeah, I want them to tell me. See, I think this is why I'm a sports guy, dude. There's a finish and an end in every sports game.
I'm a sports guy. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's funny. All I know
You
is...
think I'm kidding?
You think I'm fucking kidding? All I want is another movie with the trio, though. Robert Downey Jr., Woody Harrelson, and Keanu Reeves is a matchup that is just... It's too good. Keanu is obviously the dad of the group.
Oh, of course.
Robert and Woody are just children. And I love it, dude. I just love it.
When he brings out that hammer,
I
laughed so fun. Oh, my God.
He comes out with a hammer like, oh, God, what are you doing there?
Yeah.
And they just start messing with Freck.
Yeah.
And Freck's
like,
I'm out of here. I don't need this. Like, dude, you got your own anymore. Crap.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh yeah. What a great film. Cautionary tale. Love it. Richard Linklater, thank you very much for making that movie. Written, directed, because it's adapted from the book and all that stuff. So, really great job.
Yeah.
I really think so. Have you ever watched Requiem for a Dream?
I think I have, but I've not. I won't say 100%.
It's with Marlon Wayans, Jared Leto or Jared Leto. I don't know. Some people say it differently. And Jennifer Connelly. I was like, Ellen Bernstein, and then there's a few others in there that I can't exactly remember. But it is a movie that I'm like I will. Even though it's rated R and it's pretty graphic, like I feel like it's an introductory film to people entering like high school, whatever. Like, don't get hooked on drugs. This is your future if you get hooked on drugs. You get your arm amputated. Oh. You go to a psych ward because your brain is all fried out. You don't do it. Just don't do it. So it's like a cautionary tale, So I add this one in there.
I will look it up because my brother actually brought this up for me.
Requiem.
Saying that this is one of his favorite movies. Yeah. So I should look it up because I might have watched it with him, but I can't. I just can't remember. But okay.
So right. Richard Linklater, like I said earlier, he pushes boundaries in a lot of films, and it's a lot of fun. This one I thought was awesome. I mean, it's obviously groundbreaking with the different animation style. Actually filming it so like it's them. But all their interactions are just so goofy. So, and it just makes you feel trippy. So it definitely worked. I loved it. He also did a movie. He's done tons of movies, but I'm bringing this one up because I thought it was super interesting. It's a movie called Boyhood. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
He filmed this movie for probably, I think it was like 16 summers or 18 summers. I can't remember how young the kid was, but it's the same kid from start to finish of like, it's called Boyhood, and it's about like this boy's life going through these stages, and it's the same kid. You don't have any different actors filling in the different gaps of life because every summer they would film what they had, and they would use like how old he grew up and everything. It's a really, really well done movie too. I really enjoyed it. Jessica really enjoyed it as well. So it's very unique. He puts a unique spin on his visual style, and I really like that. So This movie, like I said, dude, I just was honestly so excited that someone even brought this movie up. That I'm like, we're buying it on Vudu and we're watching this movie.
It's happening.
Like it's happening. So, I was shocked to see the Rotten Tomatoes. I was just absolutely shocked. So, makes me mad. But oh well.
Can't win them all, bro.
Can't live your life like that.
Nope.
We know that.
Yeah, truth. Truth be told.
Truth be told. All right. Well, so the two movies, Black Dog, raising awareness film about raising awareness, and A Scanner Darkly, a cautionary tale about the addictiveness.
It's an A+ film.
Oh yeah, dude, just phenomenal performances, and like it just walks you through like this whole trippy world. So you start getting paranoid with them. Anyways. Yeah.
I checked my house when I got home. That makes you feel any better.
Yeah, right, yeah. I leave a note on the front door. I have cameras that aren't recording, and I have notes on the front door that says "Come on, it's unlocked." So, anyways, I really want to watch The Gray Man on Netflix.
Okay.
So we can fit that one in, and then we'll pull one or two other movies out for next week's or next whatever's.
Yep.
All right. Well, you got anything else for us?
Nah, man. I think that's all I got, man.
All right. Well, thank you as always, and thank you to the creators out there for giving us this content to watch, review, and discuss. I think that's the most important point. Whether we nailed it or completely misread it, at least we're talking about it.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, thank you guys. Much appreciated.
So thank you for watching.
Thank you for listening.